Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to Cosmic Consciousness with Kassia. On this channel, we discuss all aspects of the ascension process. I have a variety of services that I offer to assist in your awakening journey, and you can find those listed in the description box below. Today, we're going to be talking about the White Mirror Wave Spell, and this is beginning today, the 27th of December, and this wave spell runs until the 8th of January. So during this wave spell, we are going to be having the new moon in Capricorn, which is occurring on or around January 2nd, depending on where you are in the world. We're also going to be entering a new season in the galactic calendar. And it's interesting because in the Northern Hemisphere, we are experiencing the winter months right now. However, the galactic season that we're entering is the yellow southern sun season of enlightenment. And this kicks off on the 29th of December, and the galactic signature for that day is the yellow electric sun energy, appropriately enough. So we're working with those energies of the sun, right? And one thing that the sun does represent, really no matter what system you're working with, is that energy of enlightenment. So this is a really fun season, and we're no strangers to the process of enlightenment, right? And it is a process. It's an ever unfolding journey. So we're very supported by this yellow sun season of enlightenment as we move through the next, and I'm not really sure how long these seasons last. Let's see if it says here, 65 days, the next 65 days. And after the 65-day period is over, we'll be starting again with the Red Eastern Serpent season of instinct. There are no galactic activation portals during this wave spell. So it's pretty straightforward as far as the energies that we're working with. And as you guys know who follow along with these, I will put in the description box below a link to the daily breakdown of this 13-day wave spell or cycle in galactic time. And that way you can look at the specific galactic signature for each day and how that plays into the overarching theme of this 13-day cycle, this white mirror energy. So when we're working with the energy of the white mirror, we're working with the energy of reflection, endlessness, and order. And so this is really a time where we're paying attention to our biases, right? We're paying attention to our perception and the way that colors and shapes our reality. And we're really noticing whatever is being reflected back to us, right? Everything that we experience is a reflection of what's going on within us. And so we can expect some really great feedback from the universe during this white mirror wave spell. We can also expect to be confronted with some truths. And so the key when we're working with this energy is to not shy away from the truths that we're being shown, right? To try to be unbiased with our perspective and simply allow what is wanting to be revealed, right? The more we know about the inner workings of our minds and our psyches, the more we know about our internal landscape, the more feedback we receive, right? The more empowered we become, because then we can begin to shift that if it needs to be shifted in order to experience something more palatable in our outside reality, so to speak. So this wave spell is the 10th wave spell of the dream spell journey, and it's the second wave spell of the Blue Western Castle of Burning, which is the third castle of the dream spell count. The blue castle represents the court of magic, and it covers the third group of 4 wave spells. The blue castle goes from kin 105 until kin 156. Through the blue eastern castle of burning, planetary kin attain the power of turning around. And remember, we have 5 castles or 52-day periods that make up each spin of galactic time. And so with the blue castle, we're entering that third castle, that third segment of 52 days that makes up this particular spin of galactic time. Let's see here. What else do we want to read about? In the dream spell transcreation, the solar seal of mirror is inspired on the Mayan glyph of Etznab, which signifies flint, silex, quartz, and destiny. This glyph was associated with the color white, and it is used to represent mirrors, knife blades, and other tools that were made of silica or obsidian by the ancient Maya. The Maya believed that the mirrors were portals of the afterlife. The glyph of Etznab was also associated with the death of royal rulers. For example, King Pakal ascended on 6 Etznab, 6 mirror, while his wife, the Queen Zakbu ascended on 5 Etsnab, 5 mirror. Interestingly, the archetypal mother of Dreamspell, Lloydine Bolan Ike, ascended on 3 mirror in the Galactic Maya Dreamtime. In the Dreamspell, the white mirror is the solar seal number 18, which is also associated with the color white, being part of the white root race of the spiritual refiners. Exactly, the white mirror has the action of reflecting the spiritual realm, the essence of order and the power of endlessness, which symbolizes the endless cycle of life and death. And so this is really important to know as well. This is an energy of refinement. So this is where we're refining ourselves. We're refining our perceptions. We're refining the reflections that surround us and the internal landscape that is creating those reflections. Right? It's a really powerful energy that we're working with as we move through this white mirror wave spell. What else do I want to say? You guys got to give my mind a second here to wrap itself around what else we want to discuss here. So there's a very mystical undertone to this energy, right? It's the revealing of some of the mysteries. If we what it's reminding me of now is when you look out of the corner of your eye, like you notice how sometimes you see things out of the corner of your eye that you can't see if you stare straight ahead. So it's sort of like that sort of energy where we're expanding our perception and we're just allowing ourselves to notice the things that we typically wouldn't notice, and allowing the things to be brought to our attention that would not normally be brought to our attention. But we're allowing it to unfold naturally, and we're allowing those impressions to come through, those psychic impressions, without focus. It's like that art of unfocusing. Like you notice sometimes if you're staring at something and you soften your gaze, that's when you begin to see the outlines. That's when you begin to see the auras, when you begin to be able to see the energy, to see that which is generally unseeable to the untrained eye. And so it's that process of softening that's going to allow more of this information, more of this energy to come in. It's sort of like the other impression that I'm getting is, say that you were in a hall of mirrors, right? And so what do you see out of your peripherals? What can you notice in the mirrors that are not directly in front of you? And and this is also like the metaphor kind of extends to the ways that we see all of the different perceptions of ourselves, right? All the different angles, all of the different sides, and then we allow those impressions to come together and feed us the information that we most need in order to continue to refine ourselves, our energy, our perspective moving forward. All right, what else do we have here? This wave spell also leads us to the central harmonic 33 of the dream spell token. Both kin 121 and kin 130 have been prophetically inscribed by the dream spell progenitors. And then it gets a little deeper into all of this. But essentially, the central harmonic 33 contains the dream spell version of the mystic triangle of enlightenment, 11, 22, and 33, because the harmonic 33 contains the combined power of Valum Votan kin 11 and Bolon Ike kin 22. Add those together, you get kin 33 or master number 33. So working with that energy of that number 33. Yeah, and I think that's all we want to read from there. I am also going to give you guys a little additional information. And it's also interesting to kind of reflect on the fact that the White Mirror Wave spell last year brought us both the Day Out of Time and the Blue Lunar Storm year. So the Day Out of Time happened within the White Mirror Wave spell last year, or in 2020 rather, not last year. Yeah, 2020 is still last year technically. It's weird when you're moving into a new year. So we'll just go with the year instead of saying this, last, next, whatever. In 2020, we had that Day Out of Time on July 25th, and then the new year that began in 2020 on July 26th, which was of course the Blue Lunar Storm year. So a lot of powerful energies that were happening with the last wave spell, the last white magnetic mirror wave spell. So really kind of tracing back the way we do with astrology, right, with traditional astrology, and possibly seeing the shifts and changes, what was going on for you then versus what is going on for you now. We're also going to read a little bit out of the Astro Dream Advisor about the white mirror wave spell. The white mirror represents the Hall of Mirrors, where you can face your own reflection and see the truth about yourself. As a mirror, white mirror merely reflects what is, whether truth, beauty, or illusion. Here you can face unfinished business, the dissonance of difficulties, or charged issues that would keep you from the full expression of your divinity. Become aware of any illusions or distortions within yourself. Your clarity of perception will transform them. Take a moment to see yourself as you actually are, shadow and all, freed from the maze of mental illusion. You are being given the gift of insight. Use the world and other people as mirrors for your discovery process. Experiment with letting go or taking the other's viewpoint. Step into the other side of the mirror. Use the sword of discernment to cut away judgment of self and others. In the Hall of Mirrors, there is no good or bad, no right or wrong. There is only the reflection of what is. As you learn to see yourself, you begin to see your emotional reactions as signs indicating where to focus your awareness for growth. White mirror can represent either the trap in the Hall of Mirrors or the key that turns the mirror into windows. Ooh. In using white mirror as the key, you can discover the gifts of integration within your shadows. The aspects of self that you consider weaknesses, flaws, and problems are actually allies. Through your desire to be whole, a bright spotlight shines on the very areas that you usually try to hide. If these shadow places are worked with, transformed, and honored, the illusion of mirrors is transmuted into windows. Then you can walk through the mirror into the greater reality. And if we also look a little bit deeper here, we can find the affirmation for the white magnetic mirror, which is the galactic signature that kicks off this white mirror wave spell. And that affirmation is, I unify in order to reflect, attracting order. I seal the matrix of endlessness with the magnetic tone of purpose. I am guided by my own power doubled. And I will put that in the description box below as well for people. This is also another interesting aspect of the white mirror energy that we want to take into account, is the fact that white mirror energy reminds us that truth is also perception. Right? And that we all hold different truths within us. So it helps us to recognize the importance of honoring another's truth as well as our own. And understanding, right, if our beliefs create our reality, then everybody's truth creates their own reality. And so what is created is very true and very real for them. So it's about honoring our differences. It's about honoring other people's truths, while at the same time honoring our own. All right, and I want to get some Wisdom of the Hidden Realms cards to kick us off here for this white mirror wave spell reading. So let's see what wisdom we can receive from the Hidden Realms today. Clear. What guidance for this white mirror wave spell? If it were the white wizard wave spell, we would have perfect alliteration there. We're close. White mirror wave spell. What guidance do we have as we proceed? What can we expect? What might be revealed? What do we need to know to best navigate these energies? Okay, interesting. We have the Queen of the Light coming out. Illumination, enlightenment, celebration. So there's that illumination again, right? That seems to be the key word that we're working with this during this white mirror wave spell, as we talked about entering that season of enlightenment. And so really there's a lot of illumination. I feel like there's a lot of clarity that people are going to be gaining as we move through this wave spell. And when did I say? I believe this wave spell ends right before Mercury retrograde begins. So it's kind of like we're getting into the shadow of Mercury retrograde as well. And we do, of course, have Venus currently in retrograde. as we move through this wave spell and the next one or maybe the next couple wave spells as well. But yeah, this energy of enlightenment, this energy of things becoming clear. But it's this energy of celebration that I think is the most important. Like we're being invited to celebrate whatever it is that becomes clear, wherever we receive illumination in our lives, whatever is shown to us, whether we perceive it to be good or we perceive it to be bad. Remember, these are just labels. There is no good or bad. But however we perceive this, we're being asked to be grateful for the knowledge that comes through, for the enlightenment, for the wisdom that comes through. I do feel that people will have some things that they feel cause for celebration, though, coming through during this wave spell. Even if it's just like the clarity that we receive that sets us free, right? They say that energy of the truth shall set you free. And they also, if you take that a step further, sometimes say the truth shall set you free, but first it'll piss you off. And so that may be true for some, right? But ultimately, it's this level of freedom. And that freedom is always cause for celebration. Then we have, oh, perfect, the Lady of the Mirror coming out. Reflection, non-judgment. So we're being reminded as we move through this energy, not only to be grateful for and celebrate the revelations, even if they are uncomfortable, right? Even if they show us things that we perhaps didn't want to see. But we are also being asked to be in a state of non-judgment about what we find. To remember to refrain from judging ourselves and also to refrain from judging others, but to pay attention when we are judging others, because oftentimes when we're judging others, that's a really beautiful reflection of something that we're judging within ourselves. So our judgments can really teach us a lot, whether they're judgments of ourselves or judgments of others. But the more we can move into that energy of non-judgment, the more beneficial it's going to be, especially when it comes to the self. I feel like the things that are going to be revealed, like there is going to be a tendency for some to want to judge the self, right? It may be that part of what becomes clear is how often the self is judged, right? And some people, we may be noticing this through the guise of judgment of others. But yeah, so a lot of that energy really seeking to come from that place of non-judgment. Don't judge what's coming through. Just practice awareness, right? Practice awake awareness. Be the observer. Although sometimes that's easier said than done, right? Then we have the Phoenix coming out with the Sacred Union. Ooh, interesting. All right, you guys. So, this is a real transformation here. And so this Phoenix energy reminds me of Plutonic energy, right? Excuse me. And we do have, of course, the Venus retrograde, right? This card reminds me of Venus. Venus retrograde that began conjunct Pluto. And she will return to Pluto, right, as she completes her shadow period. So this is really powerful energy here. But this is like a resurrection. So this is like people being brought back into our reality, right? Or new people being brought in. Or if it has been trouble in your partnership, there's like a transformation of the energy. This is very, with the Sacred Union and the Phoenix, with that beautiful fire, like I mean, it's difficult not to want to use the words twin flame, right? But there's a lot of powerful union energy. But the reason this union is happening, whether this is the cleansing and purification of an existing union to bring it into better symbiosis, whether this is the resurrection of something that maybe had appeared to have died, right? The rising up from the ashes. Or whether this is somebody new coming into your reality, right? And it could be different, although I'm really feeling that resurrection energy here for many. It's a shifting, it's a changing, regardless. The changing of a partnership. The changing of the self coming into inner union, even for some, right? It doesn't always have to be outer. It really is always inner first. before we see this manifesting in the outer. But there's a huge change in this energy, a huge and this, of course, like we said, is exactly what Venus retrograde and those fires of Pluto are doing right now, is transforming our partnerships, transforming our relationships, transforming the self and our relationship to ourself, right? Which is what then, of course, transforms, right? Inner, outer, like we always talk about. So yeah, some big shifts and changes coming in romance and partnership here. And it's all because of the ability to surrender. As soon as we surrender control, that's when things are able to really shift and change. When we accept, when we practice acceptance, we surrender the control, then all of a sudden we get what right, we always talk about giving spirit the freedom to work. Yeah, but above all else, I really have to say this feels like a resurrection of a partnership. Something that was dead and buried, now rising back up. Interesting. Anything else? Okay. All right, so then we have the Spirit Whisperer, Divine Guidance, Higher Knowing, coming out with the Shadow Queen, acquiring knowledge and security manipulation. Right, so this is that energy of going deep, of going into the shadow, like we talked about. Receiving divine guidance, receiving a higher knowing from our own shatter, from our own shadow, from these aspects of the self. This higher knowing, this divine guidance, where it's really coming from. This is, once again, like we talked about, when we pay attention to where are we feeling insecure. Where are we feeling this desire, this drive to manipulate? Just the same as where are we feeling this need to, this lapse into judgment, right? We want to be constantly looking at the self. Where am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Like, this is not a time to be pointing the finger outward. It's a time to remember that when I point the finger at you, I have 3 fingers simultaneously pointing back at me. All right, that's this energy. We want to really know and understand this, because our shadow and these areas where we are obsessive, where we are compulsive, where we do feel the need to control and manipulate in order to get what we think we need. This is where we're going to be acquiring a lot of knowledge about ourselves. We're going to be learning a lot about ourselves by paying attention to where these shadowy energies are drawn up within us. There's a lot to be learned from the shadow right now. Yeah, and I'm noticing the owl here too. I felt like I wanted to point that out for someone for some reason. All right. What else do we want to do here for cards? Yeah, I want to pull a couple Shaman's Dream Oracles for this White Mirror Wave spell. Give us some energy, clear, for the White Mirror Wave spell. (2021) into 2022. And for those people who do have a partnership, right? Some sort of sacred union or partnership that is resurrecting around this time, right? Part of what you needed to learn was where this shadow energy showed up. Like this shadow energy in the first place, right? What did that teach you? What did that teach you about yourself? And if this is a resurrection of something, do you see any of those same energies presenting themselves, or have you really grown and changed? And this resurrection of this partnership may show you how far you've come and possibly how far you still have to go, right? Because remember, we're always a work in progress. All right. First card out, Lost Compass, getting back to integrity. Yeah. So during this wave spell, we're really going to be shown in a lot of ways where it is that we have fallen out of integrity. And we talk about integrity all the time, right? This is when our thoughts and our words mirror our truth, right? This is when we're walking our talk. This is when we are behaving the same way regardless of who's watching. So where is it that we may have lapsed in our integrity? Where is it that we're not living up to the standards that we've set for ourselves? Where we're not really being our best? Right? Where it is that we're not living our truth. We're going to be shown that, and we're going to be shown how it is that we can move back into this sense of integrity. We're going to be given that knowledge, the reflection that shows us that presents that knowledge to us, so that we can move forward in a greater sense of integrity. What else here? We have Unmarked Trail Revelation. Yeah, this is a massively illuminating wave spell, you guys. This is like the blinders coming off right now. This is like that deep Neptunian energy that we've been swimming in some ways, right? That with that veil of illusion, and all of a sudden the sun lines right up and shines so brightly that it illuminates all the corners, all the little veils, all the little shadows, and the truth really gets revealed. Yeah, so deep revelations about where it is that we've begun to wander off course. About the little things that we're doing that are maybe setting us off course, right? Because it's not how you do one thing is how you do everything. Have you guys heard that saying before? And so when we start cutting little corners, it doesn't feel like a big deal at first, but those little things add up to big things. And so for some of us, it's like we haven't even wandered that far off course, but we're making some choices or some decisions that are kind of deviating us from our center. And if we were to get truly honest with ourselves, we would know that we felt this way by the way that we're just feeling slightly off kilter, right? Something isn't vibing, something isn't in alignment, something isn't feeling quite right. But we maybe haven't put a finger on it yet, or we haven't slowed down long enough or been honest enough with ourselves about it in order to right our course, to steady our ship. And so the information, the revelations that we need about where it is, about even these small little things that we've been doing that are starting to add up, are revealed to us. And there is a path forward that is also revealed. The unmarked trail, though, reminds me of the road less traveled. So I like that energy, too. Some of us are going to be called to take the road less traveled. And then we have empty well, time to replenish. Yeah. So there's a lot of this energy. This is another thing that we're noticing. Where it is that we have allowed ourselves to become depleted. Have we been functioning? Have we been pouring from an empty cup? Or attempting to pour from an empty cup, right? You can't really pour from an empty cup. Nothing's going to come out. But have we been attempting to pour from an empty cup? Have we allowed the thirst of others to drain our well dry? And if so, we are going to be, that's going to be made very clear to us during this wave spell as well. And we are going to be called to replenish our own waters, to refill our own cup. And this is also for some going to be a revelation where you begin to realize where it is that you actually expect others to fill your cup for you. Right? Sometimes we think that we're filling our own cup. But then we realize, right? Because remember, everything's a mirror. So if we are surrounded by people who want to drink from our well, we may not take the time to try to figure out whose well we're drinking from. Because remember, we've got to be drinking from somewhere to really make this metaphor a little bit more technical now. We can say you can only survive without water for 3 days? Right? So if you're constantly giving from your cup, you got to be drinking from somewhere too. And so some of us may be realizing that we are using other people to fill our cup as well. Because we are not taking the time to understand how to fill our own. So that's really interesting. And on the bottom of the deck, it hasn't escaped my notice that we have the covenant, sacred contract. And so, yeah, we've been talking about new soul contracts, right? As we're completing old ones, new soul contracts being born. Contracts being rewritten. I'm feeling that energy too. Yeah, there's a lot around these soul contracts. Remember, soul contracts are always being written and rewritten. They're not set in stone. They shift and change just like everything shifts and changes. And so what are the soul contracts that are ready to be released? What are the new ones that are ready to be written? And are you ready to fulfill them? All right, and then we have the Me Talks coming out, repairing the mind, body, and spirit. So a lot of energy here, reminding us to fill our cup, to purify, to cleanse, to detox, to replenish. Really, really important, you guys. So important. I mean, she's taking a bubble bath. Not only is she taking a bubble bath, but she looks like she's daydreaming too. Right? See the little thought bubbles? See the little bubbles of manifestation and creation? Take some time to daydream as well. Take some time to play. Take some time away. Right? Yes, really take some time away. And I want to get a little more energy on that covenant, because I'm curious about that. So we're going to actually pull from the Intuit Oracle here. And I want to see what information we can get clear. Give me a little more information about this covenant, this sacred contract. In order to fulfill any of our soul contracts, right, we need to be operating from a place of fullness. And some soul contracts, right, come into our reality to show us where it is that we are not doing that. Where it is that we are neglecting ourselves, our own self-care. Where it is that we are letting other people drink from our well. Where it is that we are drinking from others, right? All the things that we talked about, these soul contracts are many, many things, but they all come to teach us and help us grow in one way or another. So really paying attention and noticing the soul contracts, the sacred contracts in your life. What is the contract that you feel you have with the souls in your life? And it can be more than one thing, and those contracts can change as we do as well. New contracts can be drafted. Just because we believe we had a certain contract with one person doesn't mean that it's always going to be that same thing. It can shift and change as we do. All right, so what's coming out here? We have Lighthouse, Diamond Ring, and Heart. Ooh, you guys. All right, and so this kind of comes back to this energy right here. So for some people, and I apologize, I'm wicked thirsty right now, you guys, so I got to keep hydrating. Right? Replenishing that well. So this is, there's definitely major union energy. There's major partnership and love energy here. With the Lighthouse, guidance system, safe passage. This can also be obstacles or warnings. But the way that I'm seeing this is beautiful, sacred union for some. Right? That's the sacred contract. There was a sacred contract that you made with someone. And this is either a renewal of that contract, a rewriting of that contract, or a brand new contract that's being activated now. It's going to be different for different people. But you're being guided, right? That's what this Lighthouse is about. During this wave spell, you are being guided toward this energy. You're being guided towards your sacred union, your divine partnership, the rekindling or resurrection of that, if that is what is meant to be, or the brand new soul contract for those that resonates with. You're being guided, so pay attention to the guidance. Pay attention to the hearts, right? I feel like the heart energy is going to be really specific. Yeah, I guess specific would be the word for some. You're going to see hearts, just something to do with the heart. Yeah. Yeah, you're being guided, so pay attention. Pay attention. That person is being guided into your life. You're being guided into theirs. Birds, yeah, communication, making contact. So for some of you guys, somebody's reaching out during this wave spell. Perhaps their own truth is going to be mirrored back to them, and it's going to cause them to reach out. Yes, because they see you as the trophy. Or vice versa. You see them, right? You are the reward. Yeah. So that's really beautiful energy. I like that. Obviously, right? You can't get upset about that. Use discernment here. I'm not saying that everybody who's coming back from the past is like a sacred partner, right? And it's meant to be. I am not saying that by any means. Use your discernment. Use your discernment, as always. Then we have the Libra sign coming out, the King of Air, which is the Justice card as well. And the Moon, which is the High Priestess. Subconscious mind. Dreams. Intuition. Yeah, so pay attention to your dream state as well. Somebody may be communicating in the dream state here. Your own subconscious and intuition may be trying to communicate with you. And this is once again integrity, right? The Justice card, the Lost Compass, this energy of integrity. We're being called to stay in our integrity. It's almost like it's like this energy of judgment in a way, but not in a bad or a negative way. It's just like how have we been just? Have we managed to stay in our integrity? Will we stay in our integrity when certain situations present themselves? Things that were hidden coming to light, like we said, right, with the High Priestess. The High Priestess beginning to reveal to us some of the things that she has hidden. So some of you guys could be dealing with an air sign. That could be where this Libra card is coming in, or it could just be that energy of integrity and justice. And also the timing for this is a timing card, which suggests within 2 weeks. Which would be the wave spell is what, 13 days, so it's just shy of 2 weeks long. So within this wave spell, there will be some sort of, if this message of partnership, of sacred union relates to you, there's going to be some development, some communication, whether it's real world communication or subconscious telepathic dream communication within the next 2 weeks. And there's also going to be, it's sort of like their soul communicating to you in the physical and the non-physical, or either or, right? To lead you in the direction, to lead you to them, back to them. And if this isn't a resurrection of a current life connection, it's definitely, when I say back, this means up, because there is a strong past life connection. And you may also begin to understand things from a past life, how this current lifetime is influenced by past lives that you had together. So I don't know, that's just an interesting little aside from some people. Oh yeah, and then on the bottom of the deck we got the Queen of Air. All right, so counterparts right here. The King and the Queen of Air. And this, of course, this timing card is 2 to 4 weeks. So right within that time again. That's Aquarius. And this is also, this card is the Star. Represents the Star, right? Healing, tenderness, vulnerability, trust. Interesting. All right. I love you. And then, oh my God, the clock. Perfect timing. Clocks to me often represent divine timing. So that divine timing coming through. And then the House. All right, and then we can keep going from there, but we're not going to. The house represents stability. It represents home, blessings, shelter, lots of other things. All right, you guys, I love you so much. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you have a beautiful and illuminating white mirror wave spell. Drop a comment down below. Let me know how you're feeling, how you're anticipating the energies of this wave spell. If you liked this video, hit that like button. It definitely helps to get the videos out there circulating to more people. If you would like to support the channel in another way, there are links down below to donate as well. And my email is also down below with a list of the different services that I offer. If you would like to do any personal one-on-one work with me, please shoot me an email and we can figure something out. It's my honor and privilege to assist you guys in that way and in all ways. So much love, so much appreciation to every single one of you. Bye.